Hello and welcome to a scene in Chaos in London. So tonight, the supernatural community of London has been invited to a special presentation of the play The Red Wedding at the Royal Opera Theatre. The building is rather empty for this time of day. It's a weekend. Everybody wants to go out and see plays. There's hardly anyone here. There's obviously guards, security guards, making sure that nobody's bringing anything illegal in, bringing cameras or anything in. The theater that's being used is nice, big, open. Everybody has very nice seating, and there is currently nothing on the stage, just a black stage with the curtains down. So go ahead and introduce your characters. We'll start with Tiger, then Kim, then Ian, because that's the order you guys are in on my screen.
Arlette will show up. She is wearing something befitting, like kind of a nice dress for tonight. Fitting, going to see a play and whatnot. What seats does she have?
Arlette gets a box seat.
Okay, so it's kind of high up, isn't it?
Yes, it's on like one of the little balconies up to the side.
She'll bring a pair of the little opera glasses. You know what I mean? Like a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of course she has them because she's a fancy lady. But yeah, she'll find her way in. Wait to be taken to her seat, and we'll see what happens from there.
There's actually another person in her box, but I will describe her once everybody else is introed.
Okay.
So this is considered a formal event, right?
Very much so. It's at the Royal Opera House, so it's definitely a formal event.
All right. Guess who comes in wearing the gorgeous ball gown?
Is it Elizabeth?
It is Elizabeth. I'm actually really mad, Tiger, but... Okay. So, gorgeous ball gown. The very high satin gloves. Hair all done up. Sits where she's supposed to. I'm assuming it's at the plot point with Arlette and the mysterious woman.
Yes, she is up in the box with Arlette and the woman.
Up in and get it. He's dressed in a very expensive suit, gloves and overcoat. Step up and present his invitation and hit in.
So the man that takes your invitation is a very well-dressed Frenchman, apparently from his accent, who takes Isaac's invitation, looks over and says, "Ah, Monsieur Winston, come with me." And he leads you up to not the box that Kim and Tiger are in, but the one like right next to it. And inside that box, there is a man who Isaac wouldn't recognize, but who I'm sure that you will recognize. But I will describe him a little bit. So, you guys can hear, as you guys kind of settle into your seats, the buzz of a crowd as people start coming in. There are some figures that you guys would have seen from around the local supernatural community. I'm not going to name anyone, but you guys can recognize people here and there. In the box with Elizabeth and Arlette is this woman. She is wearing the dress pictured, and she's just sitting with her legs crossed a little purse in her hands, waiting for the show to start. And as Arlette and Elizabeth enter, she just looks up and smiles.
Arlette will give a polite smile back and go to her seat.
Yeah. Does Elizabeth... Oh, sorry. I see you unmuted.
Yeah. Evan!
I don't know what NPC that is, Joey, but I shoot it right in the titty.
Well,
Goddamn better not. But does Elizabeth respond to this woman's smile?
Polite curtsy.
She will kind of smile a bit at that and not really bow her head, but she'll just kind of give a respectful nod. And let's introduce Evan really quick. So the Royal Opera House has been booked for a special event, which I'm sure you know is kind of unusual. That's not a thing that happens very often, as far as I can tell. Xavier would have gotten an invitation. Just showed up on his doorstep one day. Invitation to come to this play. And when he arrives, it's not empty anymore, but it's not as crowded as you expect it to be on a weekend. And he is led up to a box seat with Ian's character, which is right next to the box seat that Kim and Tiger's characters are in. And sitting in the box seat, along with Ian's character, is this man. Let me find his picture. He is sitting there. Wearing a nice suit. You know, he has the mullet, yes. And he's just kind of sitting there, probably making small talk with Isaac. So
He
that
will
is what
respond
Xavier
with an
says.
equal amount of small talk. He is a friendly fellow. Ish, at least.
So yeah, that is what Xavier sees as he comes into the box.
Xavier does not do small talk. Does he look like a man who does small talk?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He will sit there waiting for the show to begin without saying a word.
So, after probably 20 minutes or so, you know, if you guys look down from your box seats, you can see the seats down below pretty much filled up, and the lights start to dim, and the curtain comes up. It's a very the first act of the play is pretty uneventful. It's detailing. It's, you know, a very typical theater play about a young woman who wants to marry a soldier boy. You know, her parents disapprove, and the whole first act is about, you know, their romance, them getting to know each other, and their you know, the girl's family trying to keep them apart. And then it goes right into the second act, which is where it kind of starts to get weird. In the second act, you know, they start, you know, going and on their trysts, you know, to try and figure out a way to, you know, run away together. And this figure starts appearing in the background of a number of the scenes, and he's never acknowledged by the characters, but he's always there. And he just seems to be just walking. Just walking around the stage, watching, almost like, you know, it's hard to describe, almost like a personification of something, as he's just walking around and watching.
I see you two have an excellent taste in masks.
But the second act passes without much else unusual, except for the appearance of the figure in the play, and it is intermission time. So everybody
Joe,
is yes.
Can I just ask before we go to intermission? Can I clock on spirit and prize to have a look at this gentleman?
You can go ahead and roll it. Yes, go for it.
Give me a second. Getting the dice roller.
Le das roller. Oh.
Basically, a small custom lens will pop down over his eye as he looks through it. So that will be that. Let's start with a spirit sight. That turns on rather successfully. And let us then just knock on prime sight. And that also turns on successfully. So what do I see?
All right. So with spirit sight, the man has no spirit. He has no soul. Nothing there in the Umbra where he is.
Ooh.
Under prime sight, he seems to be like when you turn on your prime sight, you see an outline where the figure is made out of like primal energy, but there's nothing on the inside. Like so it's almost like a hollow outline.
Fascinating. Okay. In that case, he's going to knock off spirit sight because I've got a theory. I'm going to turn on matter sight because I've got a theory that he's some kind of automaton or doll. So I want to see if that holds weight. He successfully turns it on after he knocks off his matter or knocks off prime sight.
So with matter sight. Okay, I need to ask Tiger a mage question really quick because I don't actually know the answer to this. Let me. Oh.
Take your time.
Yes.
That air song.
Oh, here we are. We're just waiting for Kim.
Yeah. What question do you have, my dude?
Let me PM it to you real quick.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it too much for Evan and everyone else.
I'm okay.
So, under matter sight, there is nothing there where the main is.
Okay. Fascinating.
And
actually, I should probably clarify that there is nothing there whatsoever.
I mean, there's like the little pieces of matter that are usually in the air, but
I was going to say, but like his clothes don't register, his mask doesn't register.
Nope.
Okay. Well, things just got interesting. Sorry, continue.
So if you guys want to make some small talk with like the NPCs in your boxes right now, this is a good time since we're gonna kill a little bit of time for Kim. You know, give Kim time to get back.
Arlette will turn to the person that is also in his or her box and say, "So, are you enjoying the show so far?"
It is very Interesting, she says, with a very heavy southern accent, like Southern American. Like, okay, when I say Southern American, I don't mean like from South America, I mean from like the southern part of the U.S., right?
It is very interesting.
Yeah. And she says, the only thing I don't understand is the man during Act 2. He seemed rather out of place to me. What about you?
A little bit. I couldn't quite get what he's supposed to be or what role he is playing, but I'm sure it will be explained in the third act.
Yes, I hope. It is always rather disappointing when a story leaves threads unfinished, yes?
Wait. I'm Arlette Boyclair. She'll extend a hand.
She will take your hand and shake it and say, you can call me Mama Jam.
Pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine. You are from France, yes?
Wait.
Yeah. And then she says something in French that you can tell it's kind of like French, but not quite. And you can catch like a word here and there that sounds vaguely familiar, but it's not quite the same.
Okay. Could I do intelligence academics or something?
Go for it.
What's my difficulty?
Go 7, because it's not exactly hidden knowledge. It's just like not necessarily something I've studied.
Right. Four successes.
All right. Let me just double check what this is actually, but it's basically a dialect of French that's spoken in like New Orleans in that area of the South, Louisiana.
Oh, Cajun.
Yeah, Cajun. It's Cajun French, so it's similar but not quite French,
Right.
as you know it.
Arlette, she stifles a giggle because, well, Cajun, those people thinking they're French. And she'll say, are you from New Orleans, perhaps?
Yes. Once upon a time, I was from New Orleans.
Is that where you learned from?
Yes, it is. And she gives a polite smile.
What brings you to London, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, I just opened up a new restaurant here in London, and I wanted to come and oversee its first couple of years myself.
Interesting. What kind of restaurant is it?
Why, Cajun cuisine, of course.
I'd have to stop by sometime. What's it called?
Yeah. It's called Mama Jam's House of Spice. It's not too far from here, actually.
Wonderful.
And when I'm not... Oh, sorry.
He doesn't seem to be reacting to, like, or anything, right?
No, she's not reacting to the curse, no.
That's kind of thing on our list thing. You want to let the other two have their little small talk thing? For like 7 hogging it for a minute.
Yeah. We'll zoom over to the other box where Mullet Man is sitting.
Interesting show.
Well, it is a little unorthodox that the man, running around on stage. I don't think I've ever seen a Romeo and Juliet story with that. What about you?
No. Nobody's reacting to him either, right? Right, Joey?
None of the actors are. You can tell, kind of from some of the whisperings you're hearing from the boxes over. You imagine that the patrons are noticing him, but the actors are not.
And then
Joey,
the
important
actors,
question. Actually, really important question.
Yes.
Where does he stand on the stage? Like, does he come into the space where people are acting, or does he stand on the side? Like, are people just catching glimpses of him, or is he standing definitely on stage?
Oh, he is definitely on stage. Like, he's walking around, as scenes are going, as the couple are giving a monologue or a dialogue and right in the middle of the stage, he's walking behind them with his hands clasped behind his back, that sort of thing.
He never physically interacts with the stage, does he?
Nope, he just walks around on it.
Like, he never moves props or moves scenery or anything like that, no?
Nope, he does not. He does not.
Has he ever, this is going to be a really esoteric one, has he ever been, I assume that when he's hanging around, does he mostly stay behind them, or does he ever physically get in their faces?
He mostly stays around, behind and to the sides of the actors.
Mm-hmm.
He never really gets in front of them, where it would disrupt the view of the stage.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Continue.
So, yeah. So, Mullet Man is just kind of sitting there making chit-chat with Isaac. And he says, the only thing I can think is maybe he's some supposed, how some of them old Shakespeare plays have, personifications of death and stuff like that. That's the only thing I can maybe think of. That sort of thing. What about you?
I have not a clue because the actors aren't responding to him.
Well, that could be, part of the allure, it's death stalking unseen among them, that sort of thing.
If that's the reality, they are extraordinarily good actors. Everybody
make me a intelligence academics check. Did you hear that, Tiger?
Yes. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty for this is going to be standard. Three.
2 successes.
Okay.
Give me a second.
No problem.
You've got 5.
I mean, thank you.
Welcome.
If his specialty in creative applies, that is nearly 10.
A lot.
I would say creative would not apply in this situation.
Okay, 6.
So, Ian, you're pretty sure you've never heard of a play called The Red Wedding before? Arlette, you're definitely sure that you've never heard of a play called The Red Wedding before? Never heard of it, especially something big enough to be featured on the Royal Opera House. And when Evan comes back, I'll give him his.
And Evan has gone to check to make sure.
Rest in peace.
And he's back.
Hello.
Hello. So, basically what Isaac got, or no, Arlette got was that there's definitely no play called The Red Wedding. And Xavier, during one of his, internet binges or something, I suppose, he definitely has never come across anything like this, but there's a couple of plays that are kind of similar, and they all have various endings that are kind of like Romeo and Juliet. That's kind of where you think the story is leading, but you still can't puzzle out why that mysterious man is on stage.
Tiger, the individual who's sitting in the box with us, myself and Ian, what's his aura look like? Or his spirit presence, rather.
Right. That's really more of a Joey question since, like, I don't know what this thing is out of character. So.
Yeah, but basically, I'm trying to use spirit sight to identify what it is. Like, is it pale? Is it sparkly? Is it weird?
Right. No.
Yeah. It's aura. It doesn't have an aura. He does not have an aura.
Hey, Joey.
Tiger, I have to ask you a very weird question, Tiger.
Yeah.
Not Tiger, Joey. My brain is dead tonight. And
No
also, I
problem.
heard Joey the first time around, not Tiger. I apologize. I've now corrected my speech patterns. So, this guy has no discernible spirit presence.
Nope.
Huh. No. The guy in the box, the one who Ian is currently talking to. Yes.
Yes, he does not have an aura. He doesn't appear to have any real sort of spiritual presence.
Okay.
And
I'm trying to think what lore would that be.
So are you gonna say, Kim? I heard you were gonna say something.
Oh, let's see. Look at Elizabeth's character sheet. I don't know if your NPCs will notice the specific merit.
Okay, give me 1 second. I have to find. The flaw or the merit?
The merit.
Okay. They probably wouldn't notice it. Because that's not the sort of thing they can just notice like by looking at her. If you understand? Like they would have to try and attempt something that would trigger the merit to notice it.
Okay. All right.
So at this point, the intermission has officially started, and everyone has been led out to a nice little atrium where refreshments are being served. They're kind of keeping people from like similar areas together. Like all the people from the box seating are kind of together. The people with the main seating are kind of off to the side in their own little area, and the people that get like front row seating have like their own area. So you guys are all in the same area. And they're serving specifically red wine and cheesecake for refreshments.
Cheesecake? I make a fantastic cheesecake, by the way, so
I got you. Yeah, go ahead and talk amongst thyselves for a little bit.
I should carry around a small glass of wine and a small piece of cheesecake, but it never seems to diminish.
I'll drink some of it. We'll carry around a glass of red wine and sit in front of the cage and look at the others. So, are we all enjoying the show so far?
Strange. Especially
powerful but boring.
the acting is okay. It's okay. The play is okay. The fellow running around in the background is odd.
The respirator clicks as Xavier strokes the underside of his chin, and he'll say, "That's because That individual is not there.
Oh.
That's all he says.
Now, explain it.
What do you mean not there exactly?
I'm going to assume it's just the small group of us sitting off to the side.
Pretty much, yeah.
He'll say, I don't believe that that individual is physically there, or at least in a spectrum to which those particular individuals, the actors on the stage, can perceive him.
Well, isn't that wizard?
Kim, you're playing a mage, aren't you?
Semi-awakened human at the moment.
Beg your pardon?
Semi-awakened human at the moment.
Do you have sparklies?
She has sparklies, but not as much as your average mage. Think
So,
more
like,
personal.
after she said, well, isn't that wizard? She stuffs like a whole piece of cheesecake in her mouth.
Very calmly, where Xavier sitting, he'll say, not overly, considering I'm currently enjoying the pleasures of company and cheap wine with a corpse, a wolf, and something I'm not exactly sure what the nature of it is.
Point of order. Arlette has aura of confidence. The only thing you see is that she is confident.
Yes.
However, I've also seen Arlette turn into a wolf.
Oh, fair.
That'll do it.
Oh, sorry, that was funny.
I keep forgetting that Xavier has seen Arlette as a wolf.
But no, I just like the comment of I'm having cheap wine and cheesecake with a corpse, a wolf, and I don't know what.
Wait, but this is free. This is fun.
I suspect that before the end of this performance, one of the individuals on stage is going to die.
Right as Xavier finishes saying that, there's a loud scream comes from like where the main area of people are sitting, like the people in the main seating.
Right on schedule.
Arlette heading that way.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, Tiger.
Arlette is heading that way. She's also sighing under her breath. I really liked this dress.
Yeah, Isaac will follow. Put down the cheesecake and wine as he passes the table.
So, when you guys reach, like where the little crowd is gathered, you see a body that appears to have fallen from a great height. It is one of the actors who played like a minor role in the play. He played like a relation to the main female lead, like not like her father or anything, but like a brother or something like that. And he's just laying there in a pool of blood. Isaac, can you roll me your self-control, please?
Okay.
Are there people like surrounding him? Like, can we get to him?
There's people surrounding him, but if you guys like push through, they'll let you through.
Yeah, Arlette's gonna push through. And actually, before I think I should make sure I have.
It's just a straight fail, but I'm not overly hungry.
Yeah, it smells really good. You don't know why, because you're not sure if this guy fits your feeding restriction, but his blood smells really good. Like, wow, his blood smells amazing. You're not quite tempted to take it, just like start lapping it up, but it's very tempting to try and just taste a little bit, see if you can really keep it down.
Does he seem to still be breathing?
Sorry?
Does the dude or seem to still be breathing?
No, he is dead.
Did he appear to fall from a height?
From a great height is what it looks like. Which is weird because if you look up, there's nothing up. Yeah, if you look up, they just go straight up to the ceiling, and there's no like holes in the ceiling or anything or windows for him to have fallen through.
Does the height of the ceiling seem to match the appropriate height that would be required, though?
Fuck, I don't even know what role that would be to try and determine that.
Math.
Investigation, maybe?
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation and like wits investigation, try and figure that out.
Elizabeth's gonna just Google how tall the roof is and then how much of a fall it takes to kill somebody.
I was just going to use basic forces in order to basically work out the trajectory, and matter to work out the density of the material in order to work out what velocity they would need to hit the ground at in order to shatter in such a way. But hey.
So
I got 2 successes.
what were you gonna say, Tiger?
I was gonna ask, does my wit spec and snappy retorts qualify?
On a side note, I have to put a best wit specialty ever.
Really good. It never gets used, but I love it.
So, Ian, with 1 success,
I got 2 successes. Oh,
two
wait.
successes.
What's the difficulty?
Yeah, 2 successes. Sorry. With 2 successes, I'm just saving an image that's going to be used later. Sorry. With 2 successes, you can kind of gather like it looks like the amount of damage done to the body kind of looks about right from that height. And Kim, your Googling would confirm that.
Hey Joey, because my matter sight is still on for the scene, is there anything funky in the blood that is spilling out of him?
Not that you would pick up with matter.
Cool.
So it's just under matter sight, it appears to be regular blood.
Isaac is attempting to
Tiger.
stay away from looking at the blood.
Okay, that's not a botch. It's not a
No.
botch. I was like, ooh, I see a botch, but nope.
That's happening.
And the weird thing is the opera staff aren't like coming in to like shoo people away or anything, like the opera house staff. They don't even seem to really be acknowledging the fact that someone just died.
That's weird.
So everybody's still just standing around looking at this. The people are kind of looking at you guys since you guys walked up and started inspecting the bodies. So everybody's kind of looking at you guys.
I mean,
Can I do a roll to try and see if anybody's trying to fuck away really quick?
Perception alertness.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the difficulty?
Standard.
6 successes.
No, it looks like everybody's kind of just standing there in horrid fascination, except for that one edgy dude who just looks unimpressed with the entire situation.
Fuck.
Damn right I do.
Elizabeth is gonna be like shooing people back, be like, "Hey, has somebody called the police yet?" Blah blah blah.
Calling a very French woman who's rather pale says, "Calling the police would probably be a very bad idea."
No, it wasn't, you fucking moron.
And she sniffs, like just sniffs at Arlette and turns her nose up ever so slightly, in the way only a French woman can.
Arlette responds by turning her own nose up, in the way only a French shadow lord can.
All right, so let's have a wits etiquette roll, and your snappy retort, your snappy comeback specialty does apply.
Hell yeah!
Is this how to pose
French
her head more like French womany or something?
You can try and beat my 5 successes.
I mean, she has 6 dice too. We'll see.
I'll see.
Guys, are we officially having a French off?
Yes.
Yeah, we're having a French off.
What was the
Sorry. Go ahead, Kim.
What was the successes for the other French lady?
She got 1 success, so she just huffs and turns away and walks through the crowd.
Arlette doesn't even watch her go. She's beneath Arlette's notice at this point.
Savage.
Now then, somebody calls the police. S'il vous plaît.
A very, very preppy looking young man picks up his phone and dials, and I'm going to PM you a thing, Tiger, because this is going to fall under your jurisdiction.
Okay.
Excellent. On a side note, Joey, you know that really, really saucy French woman?
Mm-hmm.
Using forces, I've altered a small patch. I'll happily take the paradox for this, but it's funny. I altered the friction on the ground she is going to step on, so she will have one of the most hilarious kind of, dramatic falls known to man, like where you slip up and do a somersault in the air before landing on your face. Because she deserved it. Because she deserved it. I do this for everyone.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hang out.
You know, it'd help if I wasn't muted, sitting there describing what happened.
Oh, well.
Silly.
She trips and falls, and as she falls, how many successes did you get?
Basically, I got enough to kick off the effect. So essentially, for about a meter squared on the ground, it has there is no friction. So it basically is the ultimate slippery, like as in a yeah.
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna slip and trip and fall, and she's just going to stand up and huff very loudly, and then say, "I will be taking this to the prince," and huff and stalks off in a huff.
Before she huffs off, Arlette's just going to go, just going to kind of tut under her breath and say, "So, I think
On the side note, Tiger, she's got a really pale aura. Or sorry, Joey, she's got a really pale aura, doesn't she?
Oh yes, and she's got sparklies in it too.
Excellent. That's a Tremere, kids.
Is that
The response is going to be the following. But madam, let us be fair. The prince this prince, he will use air quotes, will then have to deal with your perfume, which I'm led to understand is a close cousin to formaldehyde.
There's no response to that. She just stalks off.
Oh wait, wouldn't Elizabeth recognize her?
Yeah, she's just some very minor like apprentice from around the chantry. Like she's no one of import.
Oh, who is she though? Does she have any status worth speaking of?
She has pretty average status for Tremere.
Like, is she more status than, say, Isaac, or less status than Isaac?
About the same.
Ah.
And yeah, the crowd starts dispersing after seeing the French off. They don't want to fuck with Arlette now.
Isaac is yeah. Isaac's trying not to laugh.
And when you guys have you guys been like watching this scene that happened, like this little tableau?
Yeah,
Like-
well, I like kind of got busy with the French off, but
Yeah. I mean, like, were you guys watching the French off in the aftermath?
I mean, I choose to point out I brought violence to a French off. On a side note, after he makes her face plant into the dirt, Arlette is getting a fist bump. Fist bump.
we'll return the fist bump.
Isaac will
Yeah.
not. It will not give a fist bump because, well,
That's
she is
true.
of at least equal status to him, and if that is spotted, but he will later on give when nobody is looking, give a nod of appreciation towards Arlette for putting her in her spot.
So, while nobody was looking, the body disappeared, blood included. But Isaac can still smell the blood.
Really. Well, at least the cleanup's done.
And then Arlette hears a voice in the back of her head say, "It's been a long time." And then another voice in the back of Arlette's head goes, "Who the fuck are you? This is my space." So yeah, that's what Arlette's got going on.
Yeah, does this qualify as a stressful situation?
Not yet. I'm not gonna make you roll for your derangements yet. But she is, yeah. She heard the two voices in her head.
Oh, it's just gonna kind of sigh audibly.
On a side note, Tiger, I think we'll both agree I was the one who beat the worm-tainted creature its face into the pavement.
I mean, by werewolf rules, technically you're my pack right now.
No, Tiger, you're thinking the wrong way. That was totally a just challenge.
I mean, it was essentially a vampire version or a French version of a stare down. But at this point, everybody, they announce that intermission is over and people start filing back into the theater.
That's a trap.
Do you guys go back to your box?
Arlette will, but she'll be on guard.
Okay.
Xavier walks over the body in order to get back to his booth because Xavier gives no fuck. So he plants his foot on his back and just walks over it.
The body's not there anymore.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
Oh,
disappeared.
it's not?
Yeah, it disappeared.
Oh, shit. On that note, I'm going to do an effect when the body disappears because I can trace things like teleporting.
Temper. Hashtag
Um,
course.
it's data, but still technically, yes. That day life.
Listen,
So he uses his eye computer basically to computate where it went. So that'll be F. It'll be 4 because it's 3. No, it's 2, so he can drop it down to 3. I will need more successes to kick that off. It raises the difficulty to 4. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, he manages to grab the number of successes. So where did the body go? Trace, teleport.
do you have spirit?
Yes.
Okay, so you would have seen it like disappeared into another like dimension.
Huh. Interesting. As they walk back up to the box, I highly suspect we're in hell.
I believe it.
All right. So does everybody go back to their seats and sit down to settle down and watch the rest of the play? No, Arlette and Xavier are. I just need to know if Isaac and Elizabeth are.
Yeah,
Elizabeth's gonna stick with Arlette. Arlette seems to know what she's doing.
Okay. So, as you guys sit down and the play resumes, Act 3 begins. And Act 3 is, where the action starts rising as the young married couple, or the young couple, I should say, they're not married, try and elope, but the girl's father catches them and, leaves the boy in a ditch, takes the girl off. And, it's him trying to rescue her from her father, essentially. That's basically how Act 3 goes. The mysterious figure in red is not sighted anywhere during it. At all during Act 3, he's not sighted. And then as Act 4 begins, and if you guys look in your little booklets, you'll see that Act 4 is the last act. Act 4 begins...
I want to go home and get a sandwich.
As Act 4 begins, the boy and his family, his family finds him. He manages to convince them to help him get the girl, so to speak. They storm the family villa of the girl's parents, find her. There's this daring sword duel that him and the father have. Nobody really mentions the missing brother either. He's just kind of gone. The one whose actor died. And they finish up the action, and then the curtains go down. But you see on the pamphlet, there's still another scene left. And when the curtains come up, it's set up for a wedding. It has like an arch, and there's pews set up on stage with the characters of the play, including some of the ones that died during the play, sitting in the pews. And where everything would be white in like a usual wedding, the draperies on the arch and that stuff, all of that is red. And the mysterious figure is standing where a priest would stand, or a minister would stand when they're going to marry someone. And the main male lead is also standing there, where the bride or where the groom would be standing. And as you guys watch, you can kind of, even the most socially inept person can kind of feel the tension building in the room, because everybody knows something's going to happen here.
I know it's going to happen. I just can't bring myself to care.
The tension is rising in the room. And the bride comes out in a pure red wedding dress with a veil covering her face. And she walks up to the altar, or the arch. And the figure in red starts giving the usual wedding speech. Nothing unusual about it. His voice is kind of echoey. It's unusually echoey. But there's nothing really unusual about it. Until he gets to the part of the ceremony where he would usually say, "Kiss the bride." Or no, "You may now kiss the bride," that sort of thing. And instead he says, "Now we must attend to our other guests." And everyone in the pews turns to look at the audience. And the man in red says, Are there any among you who would object to this union?
Elizabeth nudges Arlette, be like, say something.
On the basis you don't exist, I object.
Seconded.
Oh, but I exist, my friends. Why don't you come down and see for yourself? And he gestures to the stage.
Oh,
Xavier is
Elizabeth popped up.
Xavier is that thug life, Joey. And also, because he doesn't exist on paper, it's actually pretty easy for him to hide, he draws a gun and is going to shoot him through the head.
Okay.
Just to prove that he's not there.
So your bullet goes right through him and hits one of the stagehands. Right in the head. How much damage does one of your bullets do?
That's like 15 ag.
One of the stagehands' heads explodes.
He kind of looks at it like there's that kind of wonderful moment of, you can hear a pin drop and it's like, ooh. Just ooh.
And then sorry, go ahead.
I just committed murder.
The man in red looks back at the stagehand and says, I suppose we must begin then. We weren't planning to start already, but you accelerated the process. If everyone would, and he looks around at the people in the pews, as they all draw knives, including the bride and groom.
What?
Over in boxes.
Yes. None of them get up. They're all sitting except for the bride and groom. They just draw knives.
Oh, it's gonna pull her own gun. Because it seems like a good time right now.
Oh, see. Dyer, why?
Yes.
They're gonna try and fucking stab us. But they're down there, and I'm up here, and I have a gun, and they don't.
They're not. They're not. You've seen this before.
I mean, right. She won't. She's not gonna fire yet, but she will pull it out.
Okay. So you see the people in the pew, starting with the back row. They all chant something that you can't quite understand before slitting their throats. And then the people in the second to rear pew do the same thing. And then the people in the first pew do the same thing. What do you guys do? You have a little bit of time to do something before the bride and groom do the same.
I guess Elizabeth pops out at the little side entrance stairs she was going down since she was walking up to the stage anyways. She just starts going down. She's like,
Yeah, Isaac's following her, by the way.
Okay.
Isaac is going to, I'm probably going to regret this, but it's going to step in front of the bride and command.
Okay.
Drop the knife.
Go ahead and roll your dominate.
Okay, what's her willpower?
Her willpower is currently 0, so default to 3 difficulty.
Okay, so it's difficulty 3. And sorry, what's manipulation, intimidation? Oh, sorry, manipulation. Sorry, I haven't used dominate in a long time. Yeah, intimidation.
No, it's fine.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 successes.
All right. So she stops, and her fingers like they loosen and tighten a few times around the grip of the knife before she drops it. Kimberly, Kim, you're gonna get a chance to do something if you want. I'm gonna give everyone a chance to do one action before the bride and groom can do what they're gonna do.
She's gonna grab the knife the groom is holding.
Okay. Are you gonna try and like wrench it away from him?
Sure.
All right. Oppose strength checks.
Would you mind rolling for me?
Yes. Tiger. Yeah, I was gonna say it might be a bit easier, Tiger, especially as you're her SD for that character. So then I don't have to go looking at her sheet. 2 successes.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
All right.
It's probably good again.
Ooh. All right. So Elizabeth and the groom are wrestling for control of the knife. And it's he's almost gotten away from her, but not quite because she spent the willpower. So you guys are just kind of stuck wrestling for the quote unquote round. Tiger,
right.
Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'd like to activate persuasion.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
I can go through and just like copy and paste the text for all my gifts onto the sheet or into my
Right.
persuasion occurs associated with this.
Just
All right, 3 successes on persuasion, and then a student I can get maybe a charisma leadership buff. That's cool, or expression.
go for an expression and do your what you're gonna say first before you roll it.
He's going to say, "Everybody, drop your knives. This doesn't need to happen. You don't need to follow him." And
So go ahead and roll it.
what's the diff starting at?
Starting at diff 10.
So diff 9 because persuasion.
It's something, right?
I'm spending a willpower, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh wow, 5 successes with the willpower.
Jeez, damn, damn, Tiger.
Just had a charisma spec.
Holy crap!
Right? So the bride and groom, the groom's already dropped her knife, but she looks kind of confused and blinks a few times, and the groom stops struggling with Elizabeth. I'm gonna give Evan like 5 minutes to give him a chance to get back, so that way he can do something if he wants to. But otherwise, we're gonna continue because can't hit the climax of the scene. So, the man in red is just standing with his head tilted to the side, and you can't see his face, but you get the distinct impression he's smiling under his mask.
Oh. Oh, popping all over the place.
Give him just a little bit of time to reply. All right, so we're just gonna keep going. So as the bride and groom kind of stop struggling, stand there looking confused, the man in red just smiles under his mask and says, I suppose we'll have to do this ourselves then. And I need Elizabeth and Isaac to make me a willpower roll, please.
Tiger?
It is going to be... Let me roll a thing first to determine. Would help if I roll in the correct Discord.
Got a willpower 6 then, so. Yeah.
I still need you to roll for me.
All right, it's going to be difficulty 7.
Oh, that's ugly. Okay. How many successes?
Oh no!
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! Okay, you didn't botch. I was gonna say if both of you botched. Oh, okay. Okay, you both didn't botch.
I did.
So what Isaac does is he feels something take over his brain, take over his mind. He's not sure what it is, but he can hear this man's voice in his head egging him on to just drain the bride right where she stands. And since you botched, Isaac steps forward, bares his fangs, and tears right into her throat. Elizabeth, she doesn't get taken control of, but all of a sudden it's like this voice starts whispering in her head and it's distracting her, and she starts getting this pain in her head that's really intense, to the point where she just kind of automatically grabs her head.
Mm-hmm.
And she is in extreme pain right now. So she's not under control though. She's not being mind controlled. Ian, Arlette, your action.
Let's spend the willpower for Storm Guard.
Okay.
Gonna hop down from my box down to the floor.
So, what you guys see is Arlette suddenly, there's a thunder crack inside the theater, and Arlette is suddenly enveloped by like a storm cloud that forms into like armor around her, and there's lightning flickering through it. And as she leaps down, she doesn't make contact with the floor. She stops like a few inches above the floor and is floating there. So,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna try and pull Winston off the bride.
Okay. So go ahead and make a strength brawl check if you're just gonna try and pull him off.
Yeah.
Ian.
Yes.
You are trying as hard as you possibly can to stay on this woman. What is your blood total? What is like your the highest you can blood boost?
I'm only 11th gen, so just one.
Okay. So
although I would have a different defense against being attacked like this.
All right, if you have a different defense, go for it.
He'll look because you're trying to grab him. He'll look you right dead in the eye. What's your willpower?
Do note that if you're trying to dominate, you have to speak.
Yeah, he's pulling me off, and it's unopposed. So.
Willpower is 7.
All right. So the command will be run away. And that'll be 1 success.
All right, where is V20?
Command system. Player rolls manipulation, intimidation, difficulty equal to the target's current willpower points. More successes force the subject to act with greater vigor or for a longer duration. Continue running for the number of Continue running for a number of turns. Go off on a laughing jag, screaming uncontrollably. Remember, too, that being commanded against one's nature confounds the use of this power. Being told to sleep in a dangerous situation or attack in police custody may not have the desired effect or indeed any effect at all.
What is Arlette's nature?
Conformist.
I'm gonna say yeah.
That might have a worse effect, actually.
The conformist thing would be to like run, because that would be the expected thing to do in this situation. You know, and
also she's French.
Oh, ooh, damn, Kim, damn.
So not only does she run, but she throws her hands up, going, "I surrender."
No, but
let's see him dominate Chickface earlier. Can I that eye contact roll thing? The willpower versus his manipulation, intimidation.
Go for it.
Okay.
What is your manipulation, intimidation, Ian?
6.
Yeah. Difficulty 6, Tiger.
Four successes.
What's happening?
I'm reading the eye contact roll. So it says that, because it says, you know, other vampires during this requirement have attempted everything from wearing mirrored sunglasses to gouging out their own eyes in order to prevent an elder from exerting his will upon them, but kindred are not so easily thwarted. And then it goes on to say that the target's eyes may not need to be present for such power, so then what is the roll for? I don't get that. They didn't explain it very well here.
I think it's saying that it's still theoretically possible, even if you don't, you can look into the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the other problem is I clearly have his attention because he's grabbing me.
That doesn't mean I'm in the face.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with 4 successes, you managed to avoid like looking him in the eyes. So the dominate effect doesn't work. And that goes on to Elizabeth's action. She is suffering effective wound penalties of -4, but she can attempt actions. And she can spend willpower if needed to negate the wound penalties for the turn.
I will spend a willpower.
Okay.
So that negates the wound penalties, right?
Yeah.
Yes, for the turn.
Alright. I'm gonna attempt to grapple Ian's
Alright.
character.
Okay, so go ahead and roll strength and brawl.
Three successes for her.
Okay, Ian, go ahead and roll your strength and brawl.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, it's not going to work. I have 2 dice.
I mean, you can negate dice with that, so you can bring down to 1 success.
Technically, I negate 2 of it.
Yep. So, you have him in a hold, but he's fighting. He is fighting hard. So, that is what happens. So, basically, Arlette jumped down, tried grabbing him. He tried to dominate her, but she barely avoided, like, eye contact. And then Elizabeth turned around, is trying to currently wrestle Isaac off of the bride. And as you guys are focused on the bride, the man in red just walks forward and taps the groom on the head. And he shakes, kind of shakes for a second, and then mechanically puts his knife up to his throat and slits his throat.
I thought I got that away from him.
He picked it up. Well, no, because you were wrestling for it. You hadn't got it away completely. You were still wrestling for it because he won their strength roll. Because he won the strength roll, but not by much, so you guys are still wrestling for it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it's back to Arlette.
Is the bride still alive if bleeding out?
She's bleeding out, but she's still barely alive.
Mother's touch.
All right. Go ahead, roll it.
Right, it's intelligence, empathy, I believe, right?
I think that sounds right, because I know it's not a medicine roll. You get a worm bow. I think you're right. I think it is empathy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's empathy, which is the weirdest thing I've ever heard of.
It is. Okay, Wormfoe says it's intelligence medicine, but I do not think that's correct for 20th edition.
I'm pretty sure I can look it up. 1 second.
Gifts. It is a Theurge gift as well, I believe. It's the first place it pops up in the book. It is intelligence, empathy. You spend 1 gnosis, and your difficulty will be 5.
If it was medicine, it would have been the same dice pool regardless.
Oh well. Yeah.
2 successes.
So you're keeping her alive. She's not fully healed, but she's being kept alive.
That's good.
And Elizabeth, what are you doing?
I don't know. I thought it was Ian's turn.
It would be, but he's still being mind controlled. You will get a chance to break out next turn.
Well, wouldn't
Okay,
I be trying to defend against her, though? Because she's not friendly?
Yeah.
So my defense would be to attempt to dominate her away.
Well, I'm on your back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Would I have noticed the groom cutting his own throat?
Yes, you would have like seen that out of your peripherals.
She's gonna look at this red hood dude and just say, "Well, fuck." And then she's gonna continue to hold on to this chokehold.
All right, strength brawl checks, both of you. And there's sort of a pressure in your mind, Isaac, and you find yourself blood boosting your strength by 1.
Kim, are you spending that willpower for penalties?
Yeah.
I completely failed.
All right.
He also failed.
So you guys are kind of at an impasse. You're not really holding on super tightly, Elizabeth, but Isaac isn't able to break out either. And that was a full round for you guys, right? Everybody went?
Yep.
So the dude in red is going to turn, and he's going to start giving an oration to the crowd in a language that you guys can't understand.
Is it topped around again, or?
Yes, it is now Arlette's turn.
Is the groom DED dead, or is he still bleeding out from his throat?
He at this point he's lost too much blood.
Okay.
Like he's pretty much dead at this point.
Um,
You don't know what it is, but he seems to be bleeding out faster than someone usually would, even from a wound like that.
Hold on, I might have an action if I can
I'm
shift
going to
it
try and
off.
speak over the red speaker.
Okay.
Alette's going to look at the crowd and say, "You do not need to do this. He is leading you to a path of madness and bloodshed."
So, sorry, go ahead, finish.
Charisma expression?
Before you roll, you notice that the crowd appears to be completely frozen. Like, even the motes of air, or motes of like dust in the air, are frozen.
Okay.
You can go ahead and roll if you would like.
Yeah. That's fine. What's the difficulty?
It'll be standard.
5 for me, since
Yes.
4 successes.
All right. There's no reaction from the crowd, as they are still frozen. And Isaac, roll me your willpower, please.
I have 2 10s.
Okay. How many successes did you get in total? You need at least 3 to break out.
2 successes.
All right. So you've not broken free this turn.
Damn it.
Um,
I've only rolled once, so.
yeah. Elizabeth, what are you doing? He is still trying to get out of your grapple.
It would help if I unmuted.
I've been there before.
I'm going to continue to grapple.
All right. Strength brawl checks from everybody.
Same effect, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and spin that willpower.
Go. I'm assuming the same effect is happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess I'll spend a willpower as well. I have 2 successes.
Huh?
I only got 1.
So at this point, Isaac sort of pushes back with his shoulders just enough to where it dislodges Elizabeth, and he's able to sink his fangs fully into the bride's throat. And her blood, even though I don't add a character know what your feeding restriction is, it tastes amazing regardless of what your feeding restriction is.
Okay.
Like, it is amazing. It's almost like a narcotic. And that takes us to Red Prophet's turn. He's going to turn and he's going to say, "You've all done admirably. I'm quite impressed, but unfortunately we must finish up tonight. We don't have all evening, and our guests would like to go home sometime." And as he says that, he gestures to the crowd. That is still frozen, by the way. And he's going to just snap his fingers, and you guys hear a gunshot coming from, like, backstage. Now I can't remember how to do the dice code.
/R.
I just can't remember the last part.
Whatever dice D10.
All right. Do you know what a sniper rifle has for damage blow off the top of your head, Tiger?
7.
Okay. I'm kind of scared that you know that off the top of your head.
Rifles back in the day.
Oh, gotcha.
It's really funny because a hunting rifle gets 8.
What?
It's the I think the justification would be the usual range,
Yeah, probably.
lowering the amount.
So, you guys see a bullet streak from backstage and hit the bride right in the head. And she dies. And Isaac, you are no longer under mind control now.
Awesome. Before she go, I think it's just difficult to do this because I'm going to deny the fuck out of this guy. I am biting my wrist and putting blood into her mouth.
Can you embrace someone whose head is not entirely there, Tiger?
I mean,
Because that was 5 lethals, like, she took to the head.
Yeah, how much was she sitting at prior to that?
What, a bite does 1 ag every round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. And he had her
so
for...
too
Yeah, she would have been at 2 ags, she would have been at 7 damage in total.
But I'd also healed her for 2.
That's right, so she would only be at 5 lethal.
But she's still alive.
Technically. But she did take that lethal to the head.
Yes.
Yes, but the vampire blood would heal that, wouldn't it? If it takes.
If it is.
Would it?
So it wouldn't be embracing because he didn't drain her of all her blood, because otherwise she would be dead.
Yeah, but
But-
Begooling also does some healing. too.
Only does as well.
But Ghouling also takes 3 successive.
This is
3
also
successes on what?
3 successive sips to become a full-on ghoul. Otherwise, it's just a blood bond.
Yeah.
So you can try and feed her some vampire blood, and I'll roll a fate dice to see if like it helps stop the bleeding.
Oh, sorry. What am I rolling?
So go ahead. You can feed her a blood, and I'm going to roll a fate dice to see what happens. I just don't think this is really. I don't think there's really a situation in the book for this.
right.
High or low, Ian?
Low.
God damn it.
That's a low number.
High or low of 1 and 2. So it does. The blood does not take. She's like. She's not. It's not like infibing. She's just going in her mouth and sitting there. She's not actually swallowing it.
All right, but all right, I'm putting my body in. I'm protecting her. She's not dead yet.
Yet.
Damn it!
And Elizabeth, it is your action.
Is she still struggling with the?
Not with Isaac. He pushed her off. So.
He's obviously not biting her anymore. Now it appears to be trying to help her.
The mind control.
He is not under the mind control apparently anymore.
No, Elizabeth.
Oh, is she still taking like the?
Yes.
She is not under the like mind control. She is not under that effect anymore. So, her head doesn't hurt anymore.
She's gonna kick Red Cape in the balls or the genitals.
So she goes and kicks, and her foot goes right through where his body would be.
Rude.
I didn't get my action.
I was actually just about to ask because I couldn't remember. So, where's your action, Tiger? I'm sorry.
Kill the chick face again.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
And then another.
She's sitting at 5 lethal.
4 successes.
All right, so she's sitting at 1 lethal. And it is the red dude's turn. He's just going to say, "Why must you be so stubborn?" And he's going to disappear. And after he disappears, I see what I did wrong. I hit the wrong symbol. Great. Another bullet comes out of the darkness and hits her for 2 lethal. Hits her somewhere in the arm this time.
She'll be covered because I said I was defending her.
Okay, then you take 2 lethal.
All right, I shall attempt to soak.
Go ahead and try. Don't forget your whatchamacallit, fortitude, if you have any.
I soak both of them.
All right. It is Arlette's action.
I get exceptional awareness to figure out where the shots are coming from.
Yep. Go ahead. Difficulty 8. This is coming from the dark, like, back area.
Yes. Oh.
How many?
No, wait, I'm sorry. I put equals instead of greater than, so I got 2 successes.
All right. So you can kind of pinpoint about where it's coming from. Like, maybe not exactly, but within, like, 5 feet or so.
I'm going to fire a shot at that area with my flashing boom boom pistol.
Okay. You did record the stats for that, right, on your sheet? Or somewhere in your thread?
Wait, isn't that a bazooka?
No, it's a boomstick. It's a pistol.
Okay, I thought Joey had said it was a bazooka.
It looked like a bazooka, but
I think it has the stats of a bazooka.
Yeah, so go ahead, roll your Dex firearms.
and I believe it's at -1 difficulty unless making a fetish got rid of that. because it's the pistol that Noah made for, or not Noah, Moon made for.
Nope, still -1 diff.
Hell yeah. 3 successes.
Damn, I just realized that she is still stuff that was just padded with, like, interacting with Gravedigger. Damn, she's a fucking old character.
Yeah, she is. She's in fucking Hong Kong, dude.
So 8, 9. So it's 10 damage dice. Aggravated damage.
And before firing the shot, she will whisper to the pistol, "I dedicate this death to Clashing Boom Boom."
Okay.
9 successes on damage.
Alright, so 9 ag, and I need to roll. Okay, so what you guys see is as the bullet leaves the barrel of her gun, it expands to about the size of a small rocket or a tank shell. And when it impacts backstage, there is nothing left of the backstage, and the curtains are on fire. And the Royal Opera House is catching fire.
Pulls the fire alarm. Or sprinkler system.
Shit.
It'll take... Roll me a wits investigation, Kim, to find it in the panic.
Oh, there's fire exits everywhere, and it's bright red.
In a normal theater, there would be. This is special.
That's 3 successes on my courage. Just fire.
Yes, good idea.
With investigation. The wits investigation.
Yeah,
What's the difficulty again?
just standard.
3 successes.
So you see a bright red lever off to the side. It's not marked as anything, but it's there.
What the? She's gonna pull it.
All right. So you hear a siren start going off. And where the main seating is, buckles and starts going down, like almost like an elevator going downward. And the people in the crowd are going down. Yep, they're still frozen and they're going down.
Shit! She starts chasing after them.
Okay. So you can make it there and like jump onto the platform before it gets far enough down that it'll hurt.
Yes.
But it's traveling down on like in like a tunnel. It's it's not stopping.
Well, Elizabeth does things without thinking, so.
Ow.
I'm gonna follow her, and since I still have a storm garb up, I'm gonna try and catch her on the way down.
Okay. Dex Athletics the catcher, I suppose.
Okay.
Isaac's going to try to sneak out the side because it's now a building on fire. But while he's doing this, he is using Dominate 3 on the bride.
Is he leaving the bride there?
No, he's taking her with him.
Okay.
I'm using Dominate 3 on her to attempt at two successes. Her willpower is still 3, I'm assuming. Equivalent of 3?
Your diff is 3. Her willpower is 0.
Okay. Spending a willpower. Okay, I've actually got 3 successes on that. So I am going to, if it's acceptable to you, under two successes, it says may.
I see.
Oh wait, may make slight changes. Can I make her believe that everything happened tonight was a dream?
Sure.
All right. Was a bad nightmare.
All right. So, did you roll to catch Elizabeth Tiger?
Yeah, I got 3 successes.
So, as Elizabeth jumps, Arlette just jumps down and casually, smoothly catches her on the way down and lands, hovering a few inches above the floor.
Thanks.
She'll let Elizabeth down onto the whatever elevator, I guess. For the elevator.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's kind of like an elevator platform, just where all the main seating chairs were just started. They're on it. And once you guys hit about 20, 30 feet down, you see a panel on the side open up and a new set of chairs slides into place and then moves up. And then once that happens, the only light is like the flickering lightning that pops up on Arlette's Stormguard from time to time.
Not true. Elizabeth has her cell phone.
Okay, yeah. If she gets her cell phone out, yeah. Ian, you do make a fair escape with the bride. So Isaac is officially out of the scene.
I shall leave to hang out then.
You don't have to, but okay.
All right, I'll
If you'd like to sit, and listen, yeah. So Arlette and Elizabeth are on this elevator for probably an hour. It's a long ride down. What do you guys do for the hour that you're sitting there?
She's trying to get people unfrozen. She's going up and slapping them across the face. So
when she makes contact, they move, but as soon as she takes their hand away, they're still stuck frozen in where their fate, how their body moved after the impact. If that makes sense. She's still making impact and it's moving them. They're just not moving past that. Tiger, what does Arlette do? For the hour.
I try and shock them out of it with a very minor shock.
That makes them jump, but it doesn't wake them up. No.
Okay. Yeah, if they don't seem to respond super great, let's just probably wait because there's not a whole lot she can do right now. Actually, yeah, I'll this. Actually, I'll already go. Sorry. I'm looking. I figured it out. I hit a page. I might try to hear it, depending on if it requires anything, like a notice or whatever.
What are you trying to do? Sorry.
I
think people are here. Sorry. You're going to try and command spirit them?
Yeah, because I don't know. I'll stop. Yeah, okay.
Just give me 1 second. The dogs are barking.
What?
Okay, I'm back. I just had to see what was going on with the dogs.
Yeah, I might as well try it. I'll spend the willpower. First leadership.
Go ahead and try it.
What difficulty is the spirit's gnosis?
The average gnosis of the group is going to be a 3.
Does my persuasion apply to this, or no?
No.
Okay, what did you say it was again? I'm sorry.
3?
3? Okay. 2 successes. Okay, I guess I just spend the willpower and I can command them. I guess it doesn't say. More successes doesn't say anything. But, so Arlette's going to look at all these people and say, wake up and listen to me.
A few of them, like, their bodies jerk for a second, but then they go back to how they were.
So, like, they're just frozen again.
Yeah,
But it kind of did.
kind of.
That's something. Spending another willpower to do an additional. Should have taken in the spirit. Fuck. God damn it. So useful. Please identify yourselves.
So the same people, they like half open their mouths, but then they relax, but then they like freeze again. And you notice, it's at this point you notice that these people who you're affecting are like people you've seen around the safe houses.
Okay.
So you know they are Garu.
Gotcha. Man, if only I had. I don't remember what it is. Never mind. Fuck it. Okay, well. Alright, and I'm gonna just chill for now. Since nothing's working.
Okay. So at the end of the hour, the elevator grinds to a halt, and a door opens up toward like in the direction the stage would have been, relative to the chairs, and it leads to a long tunnel that goes straight out, and you can see it comes out somewhere like under a bridge somewhere in London. And that's when all the people that were frozen start to unfreeze.
Do any of them have any pure breed?
A number of them do.
What's pure breed?
There's some Silver Fang, there's some Black Fury, there's some Child of Gaia pure breed.
But there's no Black Spiral Dancer.
No.
Okay. That's the important part.
Black Spiral Dancer pure breed is actually really weird, and I've been running it properly, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Basically, they either have none or they have 5, and if they have 5, they're a White Howler throwback.
Interesting. Okay.
The people are kind of freaking out.
I'm going to like try and calm them down.
Charisma leadership.
Yeah.
In a note, a number of them are looking at your Stormguard kind of weird.
I'll run like kind of in public-ish, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and provide that now.
Okay.
I ain't what's the difficulty?
Difficulty for this is going to be 7 because they're kind of freaked out.
Okay. And persuasion takes it down by 1.
Yep.
3 successes.
So you're able to calm most of the people down where they're not completely freaking out. And that's when you notice this girl is standing amongst the crowd watching you. She doesn't look quite as anime, but she's got the like big eyes and the flaming red hair. And she's standing among the crowd, just looking at you.
Does she have any pure coming off of her?
She does not. And it does note her eyes are like half closed, like she's half asleep.
Gotcha. Let's going to say I can lead you back to the safe houses. I'm not exactly sure what happened to you all, but Little girl, are you okay?
You almost lost today.
Is that supposed to discourage me?
No. It was so close. I almost woke up today.
Don't quirk an eyebrow.
I hope you won't stop me next time. I would like to be awake. I haven't been awake for a very long time.
What?
The little girl's going to like direct her half open eyes towards Elizabeth. Say, "You have not yet received my gift." And she's going to smile and say, "But now you have."
I'm good.
Elizabeth now has a temporary rage point. And then the little girl just disappears.
Elizabeth kind of just looks like a gaping fish at the moment. It's just like she's trying to say something, but she doesn't know what to say, so she closes her mouth.
You should probably go home, dear.
It's okay, I'll help. She's going to text her grandfather their location and how to get there and be like, hey, stuff went down. We'd help. A lot of it.
I think we will be okay. Who are you texting?
My grandfather.
And who is your grandfather?
Well, obviously my grandfather, but uh, I don't know how you would know him, so
Is your grandfather another kind of supernatural type being?
mhm.
What kind, if you don't mind me asking?
You can ask him that.
I'd rather know before he gets here, because depending on the answer, I will have to take my people before he gets here.
Van, vampire?
Then yes, I will have to take my people. Thank you for your assistance in the theater and the offer of assistance, but I would rather there not be any more bloodshed today. And I think we all could just use some rest. So come along, everybody, follow me.
I mean, is everybody with you?
The ones who need to come with me know who they are.
A number of the people start following Arlette, and a number of other ones simply disappear. They just like almost fade out of existence. And then a number of other ones they just take off. But the one preppy kid who you guys remember calling earlier when the person died in the during the intermission, he kind of looks at Elizabeth and he says, I can't believe I didn't see it. Before he takes off running with the rest of the people that are running out.
Wait, see what?
He does not answer. But the Garu are waiting for Arlette, so.
Yeah, Arlette's gonna. She'll actually introduce herself to Elizabeth before leaving, because it would just be rude otherwise. I'll say I'm Arlette with Elizabeth. But as I said, I really must be going. So again, thank you for your assistance.
I'm Elizabeth.
My pleasure, Elizabeth. Hopefully we can talk a bit longer next time we meet.
Sure.
Have a pleasant evening.
You too, I guess.
And then Arlette just bounces.
All right. So we'll end the scene there. So, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And remember, bazookas in enclosed spaces are very dangerous. Stay tuned.